Apex Legends Mobile disappeared faster than most people expected. One day players were grinding rank, unlocking legends, waiting for the next season, and just after a year, the servers were gone, the game was shut down, and it felt like there was nothing left but only unforgettable memories. Most people accepted that it was over. Peoples believed that once a live service game shut down, that's the end of its story, and that's usually how it goes. But recently, something unexpected started happening. A small community of developers from China has been working on bringing the game back. This isn't an official project from Electronic Arts or Respawn Entertainment, but instead a community-driven effort that's trying to make Apex Legends Mobile playable again using its own server infrastructure. But here's the main thing that many peoples are missing. Can this ambitious Chinese project make a comeback? Will community even accept the way it sounds? And last, very importantly, if you download the APK, is it even safe to use and play your favorite game? Trusting some random developers while they intentionally hide their name to mask themselves from legal case? This is what I'm going to answer in this video, but first let me share honest opinion for a second. Before we talk about whether this project can actually succeed, we first have to understand why projects like this even exist. The answer is actually pretty simple. People don't spend months rebuilding a game they don't care about. These projects exist because someone genuinely loved the experience and wasn't ready to let it disappear. Sometimes it's nostalgia, sometimes it's curiosity, and sometimes it's because players believe the game had so much more potential than it was ever allowed to reach. There are also times when updates meant to improve a game ends up dividing its community instead. Features get changed, mechanics gets replaced, or decisions made by studios and publishers don't line up on what players actually wanted. Whether those decisions were right or wrong, they leave some fans wanting to preserve the version they fell in love with. That's the psychology behind community projects. They're usually built by people who aren't ready to let go of a game that meant something to them. Let me know if you agree with my opinion and share your thoughts in comments section. I am down here to read and reply your comments. As well as don't forget to like and subscribe. We're pretty close to 8K subscribers. Your little help could make my channel grow more. Alright, now here's all the important things you need to know about this project. The way they're doing it is by replacing the original online services with their own. Since the official login system no longer exists, the team has been working on bypassing that authentication and connecting the game to community-hosted servers instead. Right now, those servers are already active, with reports saying they went online just a couple of days ago. Of course, the access isn't completely free either. Players currently need to pay around $3 for a subscription, because the developers are trying to make the game stable with premium server infrastructure. And if somehow there's no in-game currency, therefore no profit from rebuilding and establishing a dead game, maybe it's totally necessary to charge players from entering their server. But as far as I know, some recent data suggests China isn't letting the developers run the game for free, as per government rule and policies. And according to recent information shared by the project, the team has also secured server hosting for about a year through SkyDream. If everything stands as planned, that could allow the project to remain online well into 2027. But here's the problem, and this is where things start getting complicated. There isn't just one obstacle standing in the way of projects like this. There are several. Some are technical, some are financial, and some can shut everything down overnight. No matter how much passion a community has, it doesn't change who owns Apex Legends Mobile. Electronic Arts and Respawn Entertainment still own the game's intellectual property. That includes the characters, maps, weapon models, audio, logos, trademarks, and many of the assets that make the game what it is. That's why projects like this always operate in a difficult position. The more attention they receive, the more likely they are to come onto the radar of the companies that own those rights. If a copyright or DMCA notice is issued, or if the rights holders decide to take legal action, a community project can lose its website, its servers, and forced to shut down entirely. We've seen similar things happen to other fan-made projects over the years. The second challenge is the server itself. If you're trying to revive an online game after its official servers are gone, you really only have two realistic options. The first is to turn it into a completely offline experience. That means removing the online infrastructure and making the game playable without depending on live servers. No real players and only bots. It's the easier approach. It's much less expensive to maintain, and for many community projects, that's exactly the route they choose. The second option is private servers. Instead of rebuilding the game as an offline experience, you create your own private servers and let real people connect to them. That's exactly the direction this Apex Legends mobile community project is taking. But here's the catch. Building a private server for a multiplayer game like Apex Legends Mobile is incredibly difficult. Every movement needs to stay synchronized between players, match progression, networking, hit registration, and dozens of systems running in the background all have to work together. And all of that has to happen with stable connections and as little delay as possible. That's why the project currently uses a subscription model of around $3. Running community servers isn't free, especially when you're hosting for a dead game and serving players beyond China. Those ongoing costs have to be covered somehow. And even with that, there's no guarantee the experience will match what the official servers once offered. That leads to the next challenge. Community-built multiplayer games almost always come with rough edges. Bugs, glitches, crashes, unexpected errors, and performance problems are all things players should expect, especially during the early stages of development. To keep the project manageable, the developers may also have to remove or simplify certain features, because recreating every single system from the original game is an enormous task for a community team. The fourth challenge is something a lot of people don't think about until it's too late. When you play an official online game, your account, login system, and personal information are handled through the publisher's own infrastructure. With a community project, that's no longer the case. Instead, you're relying on unofficial servers, unofficial login methods, and tools that weren't designed or verified security compromises. Even if the people behind the project have good intentions, that doesn't make every tool or service they're using is equally trustworthy. That's where you need to be careful. Whenever you're asked to sign in, create an account, download custom launchers, or install third-party software, you're placing a certain amount of trust in systems that haven't gone through the same security processes. The risks can vary. In the worst-case scenario, they could include compromised accounts, leaked personal information, unauthorized access if you reuse passwords, or other security issues. It doesn't mean those things will happen, but there are possibilities that every player should consider before jumping in. That's why it's always a good idea to use unique passwords, avoid reusing important accounts, and think carefully before sharing personal information with any unofficial service. Excitement is understandable, but when it comes to your personal data, it's worth being cautious. So that was it for this video, and I hope I explained everything perfectly. At the end of the day, I genuinely hope this project succeeds. It shows how much passion a community can have for a game that many people thought was gone forever. At the same time, it's important to keep your expectations realistic. Community projects like this are exciting, but they don't take much time to vanish completely. So let me know in the comments. Would you actually play Apex Legends Mobile again if this community project becomes popular? Or do you think some games are better left as memories? Let me know everything in comments, because your opinion and point of view on this topic matters the most. I'll be down there reading all of this. So that was it. I'm Legacy. See you next time.
One.